Good morning, welcome along. I'm Steve, Beats and Bombs on Discogs. This is going to be my second video now. This is my second only ever video, so please excuse me. I'm not a GoPro expert or a YouTuber, just doing it myself. So people have been asking me, how do I flatten my records? It's quite simple really. I bought a record flattener because I had a collection come through. It was about 1,000 records that were been stored badly. It had been stored in the garage for like 25, 30 years. It was all like early 90s, 91, 92 hardcore. He had about 1,000 of them, and it was two shelves of 500. And what happened was he basically they had a big split down the middle. So he had half going one way, obviously half going another way. So the two 25s records on either side of the shelves on each row were all dished. So at about 200 to have flattened out. I approached a bloke on eBay and I said, look, I've got 200 to do, how much would you charge me? And he was coming back at £2,000 or just under £2,000. So I thought, well, I might as well go and buy my own. So I bought myself an ORB disc flattener, which I'm going to show you my process of what I do to flatten my records. Okay, so this is one of them. It's not in a good shape. Well, it's fine now, but this is the state it was in. So as you can see, this was the sleeve for it. Okay, they're still all stuck together. The amount of mould that had on these records, so you had rats absolutely chewed the head out of it. You can see by the shelf, sorry, not shelf, the sleeve is still quite dusty. I've not cleaned that. The record was pretty much white. It had so much mould, it had so much dust, it was disgusting. The inner sleeve was absolutely ruined. You can actually see like the teeth marks. Okay, so this has been stored for like a good 20 years in a garage. So you've got the temperature change, hot, cold, sweating, and basically the record wasn't in a good way. I mean, most collectors will walk away from it. But I see potential. I thought I could do something with that. So here's a record now. It's been cleaned. It's nice and clean. It's nice and shiny. And so yeah, so that's pretty warped. Yeah, obviously I can't sell that. You know, I've got a lot of customers, and obviously I'm not going to sell that like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you over to the ORB flattener, and I'm going to show you how we do it. Okay, so here we are at my flattening station, my flattening cleaning station, and here I have an ORB, the DF-01iA. This is the one that I use. I got it Christmas this year. The company, I'm not going to name any companies, but the company were really good in getting it to me. It's literally a couple of days. I think I ordered it on the 23rd because I had this big collection to go through, and I wanted it before the Christmas break. And he actually got it out to me next day. So I got this Christmas Eve just gone, and it's been going non-stop. All my family know how to use it, so I've got my wife and my youngest daughter. Because it takes 4 hours. Every cycle takes 4 hours. It takes 2 hours to heat up, and it takes 2 hours to cool down. And you can't alter that. That's how long it takes. So we used to set our, we've got an Alexa, and in the kitchen, I've got one in there as well. I thought it was going to go off then. So we set it up, a 4-hour timer, and whoever was nearest to the flattener was changing the discs. Okay, so it was all hands on. It was going non-stop over Christmas because I had so many to flatten. Okay, so you get your record. That's one we just see a minute ago. Okay, you've got two clips down here. Lift it up like that. Well, what I tend to do is just give it a nice little clean inside. Put your record in. You have got like a spindle inside there, so the record sits around that spindle. Okay, so it goes in like that. You have a spindle, so it perfectly sits in. Okay, lift it up, clamp it back down. Okay, so that's now good to go. Okay, so you have different settings on there. So it's not very good regards to instructions. So you kind of got to figure it out yourself because they're in Japanese, and there's not many videos on YouTube to how you do this. Okay, so this is how I figured out how you do it. Okay, so you have all these different modes on here. Okay, because this can do 7 inches and it can do 10 inches and 12 inches. Okay, so at the moment, ignore them two that's flashing there. They're just letting you know that it's ready to go. Okay, so to select your modes, so at the moment I know I'm on 12-inch mode because the 7's not lit up. So you press the start button and you change what modes you want. So now I've gone to 7-inch. So you have 3 different settings. You have a low setting, a medium setting, or a high setting. So if the warp's not that bad, you put it on low. If the warp's mediocre, put it on medium. And if your record's really warped, you put it on high. But I normally stick to medium. But at the moment, this is on 7-inch. So you keep pressing to rotate through the system. Okay, so now that 7 inches now gone out. Okay, so now it's in there. You've got a 10 and 12-inch. So that's your 10 and 12-inch setup. So again, low, medium, and high. So that warp was quite bad. I'll always start on medium. Yeah, start on medium. And if it doesn't sort itself out after the 4 hours, I'll crack on to I'll do it again. So right, so that's where I'm at. That's what I'm setting. I'm doing medium. It's ready to go. All you do now, press and hold the start button. There you go. Heater on. Okay. So that now will take 4 hours. So the time now is was it 10 to 11? So I'll come back in 4 hours, and we'll see how we get on. I know there's some people talking about how there's other ways of doing it. Yeah, there is other ways of doing it. Yeah, yes, it is expensive. And so I bought this just for Christmas, and it was about 1,200 quid. That's delivered. So obviously I've done a deal, and I think it was their last one. I know they're pretty hard to get hold of, but they're worth it. People say, oh, put it in the oven, that works. But do you want to risk that? Because you're basically putting it in a furnace. Literally, as soon as you open that door, you put it in, bam, you're in a furnace. It's like baking a cake. How long do you put it in for? Because you can go on YouTube, or you can go on the internet. How long do I put it in there for? And they'll say, oh, 5 minutes a gas mark 5. But not all ovens are the same. You know, a gas mark 5 marks is different for yours, and a gas mark 5, they're not 100% accurate. Yeah, so you're going to put a record in a red hot furnace, and you're just going to ruin it even more. This does it very slowly, very gradually. I don't know how they do it. I don't look into the workings of it. I don't know how it works, but it works, and it does it so gradually you don't damage the grooves. Now, what sort of warps can you fix? Basically, pressing issues. If you've got a warp from a pressing issue, it will solve that. If it's a warp, as I say, a dish from a storage, it'll get rid of that. But if it's been left out in the sun, if it's been left out on a radiator and it's warped, nothing's going to fix that. You cannot do nothing with pre-heat damaged warps. You might as well throw it away or just bury it as it is. This will only do stuff that's not already been damaged by heat. This doesn't damage records. It doesn't damage the grooves. You'll see in 4 hours time how this comes out. This is an amazing piece of equipment. Yeah, it cost me 1,200 quid. I do offer services for like record labels or shops, and they'll send me their records, and I'll do a service. I'll clean their records, and I'll flatten it out. But yeah, 4 hours, we'll come back. Okay, now, so we've started the cooling process. Heating is all done. And now the cooling begins. So it tells you now you've got 120 minutes left to go. So it does give you a countdown, how long it's going to be. 120, 90, 60 and 30 minutes to go. So halfway there. Okay, so we're back. It's just had over 4 hours. It's now done. It's now flashing to tell me it's done. So we're going to open it up and we're going to show you how it's all been flattened. Undo the 2 clips. Lift that up. You can see already how nice and flat that is. Right, let's take over to the turntable and have a look. Right, so we're back over at the turntable. It's the same record. And there you go. I think you should think that that's lovely now. Absolutely stunning. So yeah, so that's how I flatten my records. I've got a few more left to go, and then it'll all be done. But there you go. Thank you.